Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Friday. I am Sean McMillan. I'm the community specialist here at Bishop Fox, and I spend a lot of time in this Discord, so these workshops are kind of one of my favorite things. I'm so glad you were all able to join us today. This is really one I've been looking forward to. We're going to be talking with Kaitlin O'Neill, our recruiting manager, who is just a powerhouse with this stuff. She's going to be talking about AI and how you can use that in your job search, specifically ChatGPT. So some stuff that I think a lot of people are going to be able to use pretty actionably and pretty quick. So that's really exciting. I've posted some things in the chat on the side where there is just a few little housekeeping rules. We are going to have the presentation runs about 40 minutes or so, after which we'll do a Q&A session with Kaitlin where you can just use the raise hand function to just kind of put the hand up. We'll see you, we'll call on you, and we can talk for a little while. That'll keep things moving kind of smoothly. In the meantime, if there's anything that pops up during the conversation, don't hesitate to just drop something in the chat, because we'll be monitoring that, and we can maybe address it during the presentation or maybe shortly after. There's going to be a lot of tiles for people. Like, you can see mine, you'll see Kaitlin's when it goes live. She'll share her slides as well. If you click on those slides, it brings them up to almost your full screen, so you'll be able to see them much bigger if you do that. But yeah, like I said, there'll be that Q&A that you can, whatever you're coming in here, whatever questions you have loaded up, we will definitely be able to address those very soon. Kaitlin will be here in just a moment. She's just doing, her job, which is, I guess, important. There she is. Hello, Kaitlin.
Hey, sorry, I was here. I was just waiting until the very last minute to turn on my video because
Perfect.
the
That's
video is
that's
always
always,
awkward.
yeah, the big reveal. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I went over the rules here and what to expect a little bit. I've seen a lot of this content, so I'm excited to actually see it in a presentation format. This is going to be really cool. This is based on the information from the blog that's in the chat, linked on the side, as well as a presentation you recently gave at CactusCon. So this is not like some idea you just dreamed up. This is seasoned stuff, and I'm building it up here. Don't worry, it's going to be great. So without
Oh
any
no,
further
no
ado,
pressure.
I am going to get out of the way and let you do your stuff, and then afterwards we'll have a chat with some of these folks and get into the weekend on a great note.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks for the intro, Sean. And like you and Rachel said, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to see the chat while I'm presenting. So unless somebody stops me with the question, I'm just not even going to see it until the end. So I'll try to catch everything when we get there.
Yeah, yep. And I think that's that's fine. We can handle what pops up during, and then afterwards we'll feed you everything you missed. So cool.
Awesome. All right, well, I'll go ahead and share my screen here. All right, does everything look good?
Yeah, everything looks good here. For anyone
Okay,
viewing, if you don't see it in full screen, just click once on the slide window, and it pops up to take the full, almost the full window of Discord.
awesome. Okay, well, thanks, guys. So you all know the talking about AI and job searching, and you all know me. I'm Kaitlin. I'm the recruiting manager here, like Sean said. I'm also a big science fiction and fantasy reader. I teach yoga. I was in a PhD program, but I dropped out of it to see what the real world looked like. So maybe we have things in common. I also have a little bit of a cold, so be nice to me and forgive me if I sound a little congested today. Awesome. Okay, so what I want to go through today is I want to start with what recruiters see on LinkedIn. I think there's a lot of confusion sometimes on what recruiters are looking for, um, how they're identifying talent. So I want to go into LinkedIn Recruiter so you can see what that search functionality looks like. And then what I want to talk about is how you can strengthen your LinkedIn profile, and a lot of the stuff you do on your LinkedIn profile translates over to your resume. How you can strengthen it with a couple of AI tools, and then also with a couple of prompts that you could use in GPT or Bard. But I don't really know if anybody uses Bard all that much, but you can if you want to. And then I know there's been a lot of talk about headshot generators. The headshot that I had on that first slide was actually generated. So I'll show you what came up with the headshot generator as another AI tool, and you can decide if you think it's worth it or not for your profile. Okay, so jumping right in to what recruiters see on LinkedIn. This is a video I recorded so I could do some redacting so you can see LinkedIn Recruiter. So this is the recruiter view. Obviously, it's a little different than what you see on the front end of LinkedIn. There's a lot of different filters. We'll go through those on the left. I'll run a little sample search. So I'm going to search recruiter. I thought it was maybe a little playing with fire to search a security term, just in case somebody here came up. So I searched recruiter. You can see on the top of the spotlight, there's 360,000 plus who are open to work, 1.6 million with that title. To narrow it down, I took it down to current instead of current and past. And you can see that already cut the results quite a bit. But I can't look at 140,000 people. So I might use these spotlights to focus on people who are open to work, people who are active on LinkedIn, meaning they're actively posting, sharing updates. Rediscovered means they've been saved by myself or someone at the company. Uh, and then interested in company, that's a filter you can control by going to the company's homepage and clicking on I'm interested. Um, so a couple ways you can use those spotlights. I jump into those more in the blog. Location is another way you can really narrow it down the search. So now 318 people, I could actually look at all of those open to work profiles if I wanted to, but this pretend job is hybrid. So I'm going to click hybrid, and people who selected open to hybrid work are then going to be highlighted in the results. Other things that recruiters search by, of course, are skills. So you always want to take advantage of those. And for this job that I made up, technical recruiting is a skill I want to have. So I clicked on it, and you can see how, again, that took the results way down. And now we only have 40 people to look for. I could search by companies if I knew there was a competitor I wanted to target or a company with a really good reputation. I could search by industries. So let's say I wanted somebody in the IT space. And then I can search by keywords. So the one I searched by was security. So let's say I was hiring for Bishop Fox. This might be kind of what the search would look like. Could use more keywords, more skills to narrow it down, but we took it from over a million results down to 8. And I always say this in my talks, but most recruiters are moving fast. They have a lot of different roles they're working on. Sometimes they're a little lazy. So they don't want to look at hundreds and hundreds of results. They want to narrow it down. So you need to build a LinkedIn profile that is going to show up because there's a lot of info on that profile. And you need to build one that's going to show up in searches. So you got a little window into LinkedIn Recruiter here. Um, a little bit more on LinkedIn Recruiter. Here are some of the advanced filters that recruiters can also search by. So it gets pretty granular. I mean, you can even search by zip code, which is kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever used that one. But some that I have used are like spoken language, years in current company. You might want to target somebody who's been at the company at least a year or two. You can look by degrees, seniority, company size. Maybe you're a small company, you want to hire somebody at a small company. So you can get really granular with LinkedIn filters, and the more information you put on your profile, the more likely you're to show up in these filters. So that's what I want to help with today, is looking at how you can build a LinkedIn profile that really hits a lot of these filters. It's great to have a resume and submit it, but uh, a lot of these roles are getting hundreds and hundreds of applications. It's hard to go through all of them. It's a lot better to be the person who the recruiter contacts because they did a search and you seem like the perfect fit. So, my goal is to help you build a profile so you're that person, the one the recruiter contacts, versus the one who's just hoping their resume gets pulled out of the pile. So, one of the tools I'm going to talk about today is an AI copilot called CareerFlow.ai. It is a browser extension. So, you can decide if you love a browser extension or no. It is basically a copilot. There's some limitations. There's some places where I wish the AI went a little further, and I'm sure that it will in the future. But for now, it's a pretty cool copilot that will go through your LinkedIn profile piece by piece. I gave a whole talk on this last year, and kind of left you to do it yourself, but now there's this co-pilot that will sit with you and do it step by step, which is really cool. So you can start the optimization. It will, highlight everything area by area. So, tells you you should have a profile picture. You're more likely to be remembered if you have it. Make sure the picture's clean, make sure your face is visible, make sure you're the only one in there. So nothing like revolutionary, but the tips are good. So it it is helpful if you're just trying to go through, optimize your profile in an afternoon or even less time than that. Uh, you could see now here's kind of the first place where I really wish that the AI would do it for you because it gives you some tips for what to write in the headline. And I was like, great. I would like to have a strong headline. Will you do it for me? And their tool is it is free, so you get what you pay for, I guess, but it won't do it for you. But who will do it for you and just rewrite it with AI is LinkedIn Premium. If you are LinkedIn Premium or you've never tried it, they give you a month or two free. So could be cool to try it right before, right when you're gonna update your profile. You can see I just did it. It gave me recruiting manager at Bishop Fox, diversity and inclusion strategic planning, so pretty good. The one it gave me before that was pretty good too. Um, the headline's pretty short, so it's not really revolutionary. Let's keep going and see what the AI can do with longer form content, like the about section. So we'll continue the optimization. Open to work, that showed up in the recruiter search spotlight. It is important. You don't have to put up the green banner, but you should decide if you're open to or not. Gives you some good info on just, the value of having connections. All right, so let's look at the about section. It gives you some good insights on what to include, which I really did appreciate. And I kind of took some of their advice plus what I knew and what I was seeing, and I incorporated that into the ChatGPT prompts you'll see a little bit later. But let's see what is possible without a prompt. Like I said, Career Flow, their Copilot is a little limited. It won't do it for you, but LinkedIn Premium will. So let's see what LinkedIn Premium comes up with. And I just had some kind of boilerplate language that was from Bishop Fox, but let's do something more personal to what's on my profile. It's thinking, it's thinking. So it came up with something pretty comprehensive. I mean, I had a couple hundred characters and now I'm up to 858, so it almost doubled in length. Obviously, you need to remove the paragraph one and paragraph two, but um, I read this and I think it actually did a really good job of describing my recruiting experience on the first half and then tying together my degree, which is impressive because it doesn't tie super cleanly to what I do, but tying together my degree with some of the roles that I've filled and the work that I do. So I was really pretty pleased with the about section. I've subsequently gone through and tried it 3 or 4 more times. it comes up with something a little different each time, and they're all pretty good. So if you can get that free LinkedIn Premium, or if you're already paying, I do recommend that. If you just want to do none of the work and have it do it for you, it's a pretty cool tool. So we'll just zip through the rest of this Copilot. Again, the experience section is a place where I would love for them to kind of do it for you. But they don't. They do give some good tips about how to bring in that time-based metric, what kind of content will be the most impactful in the experience section. So uh, a little later in the talk, I'll give you some prompts for what to ask ChatGPT so you can build out your experience section. But this little Copilot is kind of helpful in just getting you where you need to be on the page. And it'll go through the other sections of the profile, education, skills. You definitely want to max out the skills. You can select 50. And as you can see, they're definitely something recruiters search. So you do want to max those out. Featured if you're doing blogs, if you're doing workshops, content, definitely bring that up in the featured section, or even posts that you're proud of, you can feature. Um, I didn't know that there was a place for licenses and certifications, and I use this tool all the time. So there were some spots on this little Copilot that I was impressed with. It's pretty comprehensive. So another Copilot that's out there is Heal. Um, they have a slightly less comprehensive Copilot, but they do have like a full resume writing subscription that you can pay for. So if you really want somebody to do it for you, Teal is an option. It'll do a simpler but still effective LinkedIn Copilot, and then they do have those places where they'll do the writing for you for your resume, and beyond. Cover letter, they do that too. It's just, do you want to pay $10 a week? I'm a deals queen. I would rather not get sucked into a subscription if I can help it. So that's kind of why I took some of the things from their tool and from other tools out there, and put together the prompts we'll share later. The one thing that Teal does that is kind of cool is they have a jobs matching. So they will help take a job and match it to the keywords in the job, the skills that you have, the skills you have in your profile. They'll highlight the compensation, and based on what you put in the tool, they'll tell you if that is or is not a good fit for your goals. So, I can scroll through the job description and pull out some keywords. I picked a recruiter job again. Keywords that I see are like sourcing strategy, full life cycle recruiting, Zoom and on-site interviews, travel and events. So I kind of just pick those up, just scanning through, but we'll go through and we'll click on Teal and have their little job post analyzer analyze it for keywords as well. Let's see what they do. So it is kind of nice. They color code all of the keywords based on, hard skills, soft skills, competencies. Um, it's not perfect, like all things AI. It says cell therapy is one of the hard skills, and I'm pretty sure I don't need to be a cell therapist to do this recruiter job. I think it's kind of just incorrectly reading what's on here. But there are options to kind of like say this is not a good search result and refine it a little further. And then the keywords are helpful for pulling up your LinkedIn profile and adding some of those skills that you see on the keyword side into your profile, so you look like a little stronger fit. And then you can also take those, carry them through to your resume or your LinkedIn experience. So I did that in Teal using their kind of resume pilot. They said that my resume is not a perfect fit for that job. So I was like, great, let's get some help to make it a perfect fit using the job description and then using the resume that I've already created. So, they'll kind of call out specific areas where you're missing something or where they think you can strengthen it and tie it back to that specific job post you sent. Their whole thing with this like tool is that you can really update your resume job by job to make custom resumes for each job. but with the tool, they'll make it a little easier. And with the AI, they'll help you come up with the content quicker. So let's test out the content. One of the things they recommended was bringing in more metrics, which is a really good recommendation. Um, they said, for my resume, I should have a professional summary. That summary should be 300 or 350 characters long, and it should have metrics. So I asked Keel to generate one for me. Let's see what they do. So right out the gate, I'm a little concerned because I am 33, so I do not have 25 years of experience in just about anything. So I don't know where they pulled that from. Would definitely need me to edit. This one just kind of right away, I was like, ah, this ain't it. Let's regenerate. So the next one they pull again, this time now they kind of lowballed me on experience. But I think the language is good and I can kind of go through and edit it. They kind of made up the stats, but it did give me a good jog of like, okay, this is the type of stat I should include. Let me go back to my reports and make sure I got the accurate stats. But this is a good one to try. So looking at those skills again, here's where you can kind of see that you can decide which skills you keep and which skills you don't keep. And here's where I kind of wish they would tie it through for you into the content, but they don't exactly. So you're gonna have to kind of go through and pick up some of these keywords and then pull them through to your professional summary of your experience. But still, it's a cool tool for helping you optimize each resume and each job application with as little effort as possible. If you're willing to pay $10 a week, or they have cheaper monthly and yearly plans, if you're willing to pay for it, it does make it pretty simple. But like I said, I am cheap, so I wanted to figure out what Teal could do, and then what I could do with some prompts. So this is the professional summary section. We kind of breezed through it, but here's three examples that they did come up with. I think all three of them are pretty good. Like I said, they need some editing. But these are metrics time-based statements, so it's like in or within a period of time, and shows impact. So I'll just read the first one. With over 10 years of experience in recruiting and talent acquisition, I have successfully managed a team of domestic and international professionals, resulting in a 25% increase in hiring efficiency in just 6 months. As a leader, I have also implemented strategic workforce planning, resulting in a 30% decrease in time to hire. So it's good. It's really good. It's better than what I had. And the second and the third ones are also solid options. They kind of highlight different areas of my profile, but they provided three good options, all of which would need a little editing for accuracy, but solid. So I wanted to see what ChatGPT would do for me if it was better than Teal. I wasn't using a prompt in Teal. It was just going section by section and making recommendations. I did need a prompt, of course, with ChatGPT. The prompt I came up with is based on my resume, which I just copied in. Write a professional summary for a recruiting manager position that includes metrics and total years of experience, and keep it shorter than 500 characters. So I regenerated it 3 times and got 3 different sets of results. They're all pretty good. Um, the only one that's a little maybe got me raising an eyebrow is this one. This is the one where ChatGPT decided to get a little fun with it. I think it's a little too jazzy for me, even though I like to bring some personality into my profile. But these other two are really solid. So I'll read the first one. Results-oriented recruiting manager with 6+ years of experience in tech and cybersecurity sectors, led global teams, achieving a 25% boost in efficiency, drove diversity efforts, elevating hires by 40%, pioneered innovative university programs, realizing a 20% year-over-year quality improvement, proven track record in full-cycle recruitment and strategic workforce planning, adept at developing streamlined hiring processes, recognized as a thought leader, speaker, and blog author in cybersecurity recruitment. So that one's really good. I think it's better than what Teal came up with. Might even be better than what the LinkedIn Premium AI came up with. So a little more effort in that I had to copy things into ChatGPT and use the prompts, but I do think it was worth it because what they put out, the output was really strong. And I did try it with other prompts or less specific prompts or more just like, hey, write an about section for me. It wasn't as good. So getting really specific with the prompts absolutely helped with the output. I know that's not a secret. You guys seen that with other searches, I'm sure. So another one, a really important area, which is probably your most labor intensive area, is the experience section. So on the left is what Teal kind of comes up with for the experience section. It'll give you a couple of bullets based on the jobs you're looking at and saving and based on the experience that you have that you input in the tool. So I'll give you a second to look at the bullets. They're all pretty good. But I wanted to see what ChatGPT would do for me. So I asked ChatGPT, using my resume, write 3 resume bullets for a recruiting manager position that describes impact and uses metrics. So I like the way they broke it out. I wouldn't include that bold lettering in my resume or on my LinkedIn experience section, but for me, just wrapping my head around like what is the story I'm telling, what are the high points I'm hitting, the bold really helped me say like, oh yes, I'm hitting these 3 areas of my experience that are important that I want to make sure I call out. And then I would have to check the metrics, make sure they're accurate, but the ideas that they have around metrics are really strong as well. So the ChatGPT content is very strong. Feels good. They're kind of a chat GPT wrapper as well, but I think using the right prompts, you can get really good content. So I came up with a couple different prompts to use as well to help you kind of go through every piece of your LinkedIn profile. You want to make sure that the headline you're using is grabbing. You could kind of see on that recruiter search, they just get a little blurb, and the only things we can see in that blurb are your headline, your profile picture, and your background. So you definitely want to take advantage of that space. The prompt I have is create a LinkedIn headline for a job title that effectively showcases my expertise and attracts the attention of potential employers. And then a way to kind of modify that to make sure you're using the keywords and hashtags that are effective in your industry is draft a compelling LinkedIn headline for a industry, so let's say cybersecurity professional, and tailor it to reflect my unique skills and experiences. And that's where you could paste in what you already have in LinkedIn or from your resume. So some other prompts for the about section. I know we kind of played with that one. The most in-depth prompt is that first one. Using my resume, craft a compelling about section that introduces me to my professional network, highlights my career accomplishments, showcases my unique skills and experiences, and communicates my career goals and passions. Aim to engage readers and leave them with a strong impression of my value as a talented and dedicated professional in the field. Okay? So a lot of prompt there, but I did test a few times and I did get some really good results. A little simpler, based on my resume below, write a professional summary for a title or levels LinkedIn that includes metrics and total years of experience and keep it shorter than 750 words. So this is another great option uh, if you want to use it on LinkedIn, great. If you want to bring it over for your resume, also very possible and a good option. These prompts should work for either section. And then the third one is create a summary that showcases my skills and experiences relevant to a title role. So you put in the job title and then you can copy and paste in your resume. You can also copy and paste in a specific job posting if you really wanted to pull off of that posting. So some bullets to help guide experience. That is kind of the most labor intensive section is what I found. You might want to copy and paste in a job description or two, use that to help guide ChatGPT in addition to copying in your resume. So give it some good info to pull off of. Write an experience bullet for a title position that describes impact and uses metrics. Include at least 3 of these keywords. And to get to those keywords, I would just put a job posting in ChatGPT and ask it to highlight the top 5 hard and soft skills, and then you pick the keywords that you think make the most sense. That human filter. Um, Another post, write 4 resume achievements with metrics based on the following job responsibilities. So put in the job post, see what it comes up with. And then the last one, write 3 bullet points demonstrating my ability to, you can put in a skill or an achievement, university recruiting, pen testing, whatever it is. And then you can include your resume and or the target job posting to um, help it kind of get there. And then if you already have a good starting point on your resume or your LinkedIn, you can always copy and paste them into ChatGPT and ask them to make them more actionable and professional. So here's some bonus prompts. A lot of different areas where you use prompts on your LinkedIn and your resume. So I want to optimize my LinkedIn skill section. Give me a list of 25 important skills relevant to job title and or job description. That's where you can paste it in. I want to optimize my LinkedIn skill section, provide a list of software tools that are commonly found in job title, job description. So, what are the tools and software found in pen tester job descriptions or recruiter job descriptions? Um, we saw this on the career flow page, and I've talked about this before, but um, endorsements for skills are great, and so are recommendations on LinkedIn. As a recruiter, that's not very likely to show up in search, but I am likely to look at it if I'm scrolling through somebody's LinkedIn profile. It can be awkward to ask, so you can take that awkwardness out and just have ChatGPT do it. Compose a courteous and compelling message that I can send to my colleague, manager, client, former coworker, whatever, requesting a LinkedIn recommendation. Highlight and make change recommendations for any jargon or complicated language in my experience section that might be confusing to recruiters. So I like this one too. So after you've maybe optimized, you can still put everything through for a final read through, being like, are there any buzzwords I'm using? Is there anything that's complicated? Is there any jargon? Just get that second set of AI eyes on it. All right. So I did use the headshot generator. I put in 10 photos, which was actually kind of hard to find 10. I was not super impressed. You can see my results here. I said it was for a professional for LinkedIn. They asked me what I did. I put in like marketing, sales. And I feel like some of these are really buttoned up, and then some of these are kind of really inappropriate. I don't know why they gave me like huge mugs and weirdly sized hands. So, for $40, you might be able to pull 1 or 2 shots out. And if you really don't have a photo you want to use, I think you are better off just getting something in your headshot section. Like you saw, it is something recruiters see. There is value in having a photo there that makes you seem real and approachable. So try to pick one that does not fall in the uncanny valley. I think that was my best one. I feel like Leslie Knope in Parks and Rec, but it's usable. So my $40 got me that one headshot that I would actually use. The rest of them are a little they don't quite meet the mark, or they're just not quite appropriate. Like I feel like some of these last ones, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna post in a crop top on LinkedIn. That might be a little bold. So use at your own risk. I used Aragon.ai, but think they're all pretty similar. So that is everything I have. Thank you for sticking with me, and I will stop sharing and I will come back over to the Discord.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Any
we can
questions
take
for
any
me or
questions. You can
in the
just
chat?
just do the little hand raise thing, and we'll be sure to answer any of those, or throughout if you have uh, anything in the chat that you want to drop too. If you are are voice shy, that's totally understandable.
I know.
That was
Thanks.
a great presentation.
Thanks for joining. Some of the questions that I got at CactusCon, people in general, um, as you're career searching, job searching, I know things can come up. So I know you might not want to drop them in the chat here, but you're welcome to message me on a Discord. You can see my handle there, or you can message me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to answer messages they come up there. And a lot of the prompts are in the blog, and then I'm also going to try to make a LinkedIn uh, post just so you can see them there and use them there as well. Thanks for thanks for all the feedback. I'm glad some of you found it interesting and got some good content.
I actually have one question. I'm Sean.
Tools presented here that aren't in the blog. So I didn't talk about careerflow.ai or Teal in the blog. In the blog, I focused a little bit more on what recruiters see in LinkedIn, and then how you kind of use prompts to bring to strengthen your LinkedIn profile. So you'll show up in those searches. So I didn't really talk about any of those co-pilots. I really do like that careerflow.ai as a free co-pilot to just help you redo your LinkedIn step by step. Their tips are good. You're still gonna have to do some of the legwork with the content, but I'm hoping, since I gave you those prompts in ChatGPT, that it's not too much of a lift, and that having that co-pilot show you like where everything is will make it a little easier. And then Teal, their co-pilot is pretty good too, and I think it's probably just going to get better. That like ability to customize your resume for each job post you're applying to, is also is just a cool feature. So if you want to pay for it, that's another cool tool. I looked at a bunch of other ones. There's a ton of resume, like Pick Resume is another one that's pretty popular. There's a ton of AI resume writers. Um, Call me old fashioned, and maybe it's just 'cause I'm a control freak, but I do prefer using the prompts that I had here and being a little bit more hands-on in what I'm putting in each piece of my resume. And then if it was me, I would just use like a Canva template. There's some really good templates out there that are free on Canva. And then you can really pick what you want that format to look like and have your hand in each piece of the content so you know it's good. So I found those to be better than the tools, and I did try them. Yeah, I know. The features on LinkedIn are very granular. So, yeah, know that the recruiters are definitely creeping on you. What's the best way to bribe people into giving you recommendations and skill endorsements? You can just reciprocity it and write one for them, and then be like, "Oh, by the way, I wrote you a recommendation. Think you could write one for me?" Um, I've been lucky. Everyone who's ever asked me, I've always been like, yes, if you're asking, no problem, I'm gonna do it. And then if anyone who I've ever asked for one has really jumped in and been super helpful. So, if I was looking, Rachel kind of asked what keywords do you look for technical roles to help evaluate a match for Bishop Fox. So I definitely try to put it in the job posting. So if you ran my job posting through ChatGPT, they should show up for you. But like for a pen tester role, which I think is where a lot of our interest always lies, um, I might look for certs. I might look for like the OSCP or OSCE. I do look for tools, so I might search by like ERP or like a C2 framework. I look for um, like, are they dropping? I mean, it seems obvious with a pen tester, but still, I look for are they calling out like web app pen testing or cloud pen testing, internal external network? Because usually we're getting pretty specialized in the roles we're hiring for. So I want to see that somebody is also specialized, um, and see what that looks like. So yeah, any other questions on the keywords, let me know. Or if you want to talk about like what do you look for a specific role, happy to hop in and talk about that. We did test with ChatGPT 3.5 versus 4, and 4 is a little bit better. Like I said though, I'm a deal queen, so if you're on a budget and you're not already paying for 4, you can definitely still get really good results with 3.5, but 4 is good or is very good. And you could also probably get fancy with like Dolly for your LinkedIn backdrop or for any like graphic elements you want to bring into your resume. But if they don't get too crazy with your resume, like just a clean template with some nice blank space is what you really need. Is just something that a recruiter's going to want to look at because they are looking at so many resumes any given day. You want to give them something nice, clean, concise. I think that no jargon filter actually is helpful. Sometimes I get resumes that are, I'm like, I don't know if anybody can kind of cut through what this person is trying to say in the technical jargon. And when I have hundreds of resumes to go through, my motivation to like decipher what one person is talking about on their resume is low. So, you want to make sure what you're saying is really clear, concise, speaks to the job, and for the recruiter, it's just an easy yes. I probably do have a cup in my current LinkedIn photo, but I didn't use that one with the Aragon AI, so they didn't know. I also currently have 3 cups sitting next to me, so maybe they're just monitoring me, and they knew that the cup was accurate for my personality. Any other questions or anything else that I can talk about?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for putting this together. This was a really informative thing. I'm new here, so I didn't have access to this stuff, and I managed to squeak in somehow. But I seriously, there were a lot of great takeaways here, and I know you didn't have to do it, but you did it for us, and that's that's super appreciated.
I one thing I didn't say, but that I did learn recently is that 50% of all applicants on LinkedIn apply to 10% of jobs, and those are the 10% of jobs that are remote. So that's part of why we talk about stuff like this because there is like a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people applying to jobs, whether it's in their wheelhouse or not. Like you'd be surprised how many applicants we get that are applying for a pen tester job but have like no experience that lines up with it at all. They don't even seem to be hobbyists. So there's a lot of noise to sort through. So I think the stronger your materials are, the easier it is to stand out amidst all of that noise. So that's kind of why I put this stuff together to make it simple so that you stand out in the noise. And then, maybe in the future, I'll talk about other things that I see a lot. Like, I see a lot of the same kind of mistakes with like offer negotiation. I see a lot of like fumbles with interview questions. So if you ever had questions about things like that, feel free to throw them in the Discord and Sean will have me, or feel free to message me on LinkedIn and
Absolutely.
we can continue that conversation. Cool. And somebody asked me how I went from my degree in Asian history to security recruiting. I mean, I think the best thing about it is I work with a couple people who are really, really cool who do not have security degrees, CS degrees, IT degrees, or they have no degrees at all. Um, so I work with a lot of people who have non-traditional backgrounds. I feel like if you're somebody who's really curious, you like learning, it lends itself to learning new things. So I went really deep in one subject matter and then was able to kind of pull out of that and go really deep into another subject matter and like 10 years from now, who knows what I'll be working on. And I think it makes me a better recruiter because I can see people's backgrounds and I'm like, oh yeah, well, somebody's background isn't everything. Like, what are they doing now? What are they learning? How are they trying to like keep growing in their career? That's why something I value a lot, and I think Bishop Fox values it a lot too. As much as we can, you still got to hit the job requirements, but always like to work with people who can change their mind and do something different and bring that curiosity. Anything else, Sean or Rachel?
I think I'm good. I'm just so glad this went so smoothly. This was great. Again, great job. This was super informative and very useful. And thanks for everyone who showed up. This was really fun.
Thanks to you, Sean. Good job on your first Discord.
Don't
We
tell
learned
them
how
it's
to
my
use the
first,
workshop
Kaitlin.
stages. At Bishop Fox is your first.
Well, this will, yeah, I was just going to say that we are recording this, so this will live on demand here. So if you missed anything or you have questions, you think later, we're going into a weekend. Maybe on Monday you think, what were those prompts or something? We'll have that available up here, and you can reach us on Discord too. We'll definitely make ourselves available. But if that is
My
all,
cold will live on forever. So people
forever.
can see me sick for months and months to come.
Right. This is very important that we preserve this. But yeah,
So
thank you. Thanks everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. And like I said, if anything pops up, hit us up on Discord. I'll be on here all weekend, and we can answer any kind of post event questions there.
thanks, guys. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.